Hi, this is Dolores, and I'd like to show you the journal I made for the swap on Junk Journal Junkies, the recent swap on sewing themed journal. And here is mine. I'll talk to you about the cover. It's brown paper covered with toile patterns tissue paper, and then I sprayed it and gilded it and did all kinds of things to it, and then added these cutouts from lace that had also been dyed. The button kind of matches the medallion on the lace, which I thought was pretty cool. It's got five individually bound signatures that are then put in with the twine binding, and there's a bow out of seam binding, and on the bow are some thimbles that I thought looked really cool, and there's a charm, and the charm is also a detachable charm bracelet that can be worn if you like that 50s kind of charm bracelet look. And the charms on it are sewing themed, in addition to a hand, a hamsa, which is a Middle Eastern symbol of good luck, and an elephant, which is my own personal symbol for good luck. And there's a scissors, and a sewing machine. It says Singer on it, a tape measure, a little dress on a hanger, and Made with Love, which it was, some buttons, and I love sewing, and some wool and knitting needles. I don't know if you can see all those, but here's the back. Oh, and then there's some buttons on seam binding here that I thought added something. Here's the back, and it's bound with seam binding and twine, and onto this button. And the button is tied off in the inside with another two buttons here. Now, these buttons that I have on the cover, throughout the book, and on the back have been my grandmother's buttons. Some people whose families die, when their families pass away, they become rich in real estate, cash, and so on. Had a little bit of that, but mostly I was left a large trunk that my grandmother came to America with from Sicily, and over the years it's been filled with all kinds of sewing and knitting and all kinds of things. So I have many things to remember her by, and my mother as well. So this book was a lot of fun for me to make, and quite attached to it at this point. Okay, so here's the inside cover, and there's lace on the front cover inside, and also the back cover. And here's a tag that I made with a resin dress form, and I used glitter glass, but didn't quite melt the way I thought it would, but anyway, I tried. And each signature is surrounded by they're all coffee dyed papers, and each signature is surrounded by a piece of coffee dyed paper that has been pattern paper has been adhered to, and it kind of gives it a texture like fabric. So I thought that was really interesting. So here's the first signature, and this is a tuck spot, and here are some ephemera and a tag. Now I have these little safety pins. I don't know if you can see them. They're very oddly shaped, and I got some for the book, and I wanted about 20 or 10, and I had to buy 300, so I've used them all over the book. And here's a little sewing machine on the tag. Now I want to talk about the paper a little bit. I've used primarily, or maybe not primarily, but I've used a great deal of the paper from Love is Chic, Ephemeris Vintage Garden, and I also used Chic and Shabby from Ephemeris Vintage Garden, and those are two really beautiful papers. In addition, I used some Prima journaling cards from 3 different packs. This is one of them, and they're all throughout. There are about 80 or 90 pages front and back. I'm not sure. They're and 5 signatures. Okay, so here's the next page, and these are 2 of the journaling cards, Prima journaling cards. And this book also was made possible by all the things that I should have thrown out but didn't. I just knew I was going to need this someday. We used to have a little house in the country that I kind of decorated when it was a small house, and so I could paint it and do whatever I wanted to. And at one point I was into upholstery, so I upholstered things, and this is one of the things I bought and never used. This is also, I have this, something I thought I would need this, and I kept it. Journaling card from Prima, and here's some Ephemeris Vintage Garden envelope from Love is Chic, and then some other ephemera. Now, the other paper I used was Marion Smith's Garment Center, and that's some things are from a few pieces of paper from that as well. This is just a little die cut, paper die cut. This is from Shabby and Chic, and here I sprayed a doily, and if you can see it, I sprayed a doily and cut it up. I put half here and half here. I sprayed it with Lindy's Coral Bells Cockle Bells Coral, and there's a little button there, and here's a little layering piece, and some. This is from Love is Chic. Put a little dyed paper. Now all the journaling cards are backed with dyed paper. I tried out blue, and I asked my husband to bring me home. He was at the store. I asked him to bring me home Kool-Aid, but he brought home Hawaiian Punch, and it works just pretty well. And that's a heads up, it's probably cheaper. Here's a little envelope that I cut, and I pasted it here on the side, and I think it works well as a pocket. There are tags that are sprayed with Colored Bloom Antique Gold. I love that color. And then I have the tags. I usually do this because otherwise I wouldn't leave any space at all. But I proceed every journaling space with a tag so that they're easily found. There's some stamping on them too, a little flourish. And here, these look like stitches to me, so I put them in. The other thing is that there's sewing on a lot of the pages. We didn't come to that yet. Here's a journaling card, and inside are a card from Love is Chic, and here's a paper of pins. Nobody I know knows this song. I'll give to you a paper of pins, and that's the way our love begins. But anyway, I used to do this for my grandmother when I was a kid. Now, they're covered with tape on the bottom, bookbinding tape, so they don't hurt anyone. Here's some tags that I made. Here's these are from Marion Smith's collection, and they're journaling cards with a little button there. I covered these particular tags with pattern paper, dress pattern paper, and put a little spray on them. Here's one that's decorated with a spool. These are from the internet, I'm pretty sure. A spool in the top of the spool, and it has a little, I love this charm. It says silk cord, and it's a spool. And there are some fibers and seam binding on the tags. Here's another one with buttons. And these are, I didn't know what they were. They were kind of spool shaped and looked like spools to me, but then I remembered that when I was a kid, I used to see the ladies knitting like argyle sweaters and things that had a lot of different colors in them. And I think what they did was wrap the yarn around this, and then they would hang off the knitting. That's what they were. I believe that's what they were. This stamp, all kind of sewing themes, few sewing themed stamps that I had. Here's a decorated clip and a couple of journaling cards. This is, I believe, this is a Prima. And this is a piece of eyelet lace that I dyed and cut and pinned it on with the clip with the little safety pin. These are some of those safety pins in case the recipient needs to have some funny looking safety pins. And here's another tag with sewing, you know, like a spool and a scissors, old-fashioned scissors. And here's a charm of an old-fashioned scissor. I just thought that looked like it would go. Now here's another thing. Oh, I love this little thimble. I put it on one of those safety pins. And here's another thing that I saved. About 10 years ago, I wanted to save my couch that I had. No, it was longer than that. It was more like 15 years ago. I wanted to get my couch recovered. It was our original marital couch that's about 100 years old. And I sent away to Dharma Trading Company, I think it is. It's online. And they have undyed fabrics, and they have dye. So if you're into that, this is a great website. But I sent away for their catalog of fabrics so I could pick one to put on my couch. And they sent me about 100 of those things, and I couldn't throw them out because they were so wonderful. So they're in my album, in my journal now. And this is one of them, hemp summer cloth. And it's really, the fabrics are just beautiful. Here's a piece of Love is Chic with a little button and some, this is, what is this? Oh, these are some tags that I've backed with dyed paper. And this is something else. This is, I don't know what, oh, this is, I believe, Love, Chic and Shabby. Yes, and they're brown paper on the back because they're journaling on the front. And the Chic and Shabby collection I printed out in parchment paper, but it's not the kind that you put in the oven. It's the stationary kind, and it's really pretty. Okay, so that's the first signature. Now here's another piece of that fabric with the label on it, hemp and cotton jersey. And here's one of those little spool-like knitting things, and I put some lace on it. Here's the next signature. I love this little baby headband lace. Here is I believe this is Prima journaling cards. And here's another little decorated clip. Oh, and here's another, this is also fabric. I think I made a dress out of the fabric from this company. I don't know if they still exist. It's Batik Boutique. And I think I made a dress out of one of their patterns. I have many of them. Here's another tag that I made, and these were my Nona's buttons. She had them all arranged, like this must have been a sweater, and so there are the big ones and the small one. Remember, you got a small button at the top. So that's that. This is a piece of tulle, and this is paper from, these are papers from Marion Smith's collection of Garment District, and I just cut that in half. And here's another Prima journaling card. And this also, you know, I kept this Why? I don't know. Now, the punchline here is that I had a lot of these little safety pins. I didn't really even have to buy any. I think they're Tim Holtz, so there you go. Here is, this is some sewing, and the pattern on the sewing machine is cross stitch, so I got a kick out of that. A lot of the pages have sewing on them. I guess I didn't point them out yet, but we'll find more. Here's a paper that I used that Martha Stewart punch on and threaded some seam binding through it, but as you can see, I missed, but it worked out in the end. So this will be for writing a note. Here is some more of the Chic and Shabby collection, and it's on, as I said, on parchment with dyed paper on the back, not Kool-Aid, but Hawaiian Punch. And this is so cute. It's also from that collection. A couple of journaling cards inside a little envelope, and I just thought that was adorable. Oh, and I'd like to also thank Debbie Ann for that collection. You know, I won the giveaway from Junk Journal Junkies. I could hardly believe it, and that was my prize, that lovely collection. So thanks, Debbie Ann. This is Love is Chic. This is the other collection, Chic and Shabby. Here's a little punched out. There's brown paper underneath, and then this piece punched out to make a pocket. And here is a tag that I made. And this is given to me by this little image by J.C. Alexander, and I sprayed it. Put a little fabric under it, fibers. Here's a little thing that opens. Can you see this? Yeah, so it's just a little piece of paper here to write on the inside, and a banner, and a hanger clip. And this is from Nectar's Designs. Now I glued it shut here by mistake, but it still has a little pocket right here. And I just think that's awfully cute with the bee on it. I love bees. And here's the other part of the envelope. It's some washi tape. Some tickets with a hanger, little hanger. Made a banner, and these are my Nani's buttons. And here's some cards from all from Ephemera's Vintage Garden. Aren't they beautiful? Some more journaling cards. This is Chic and Shabby, and this is Prima. And here's a stamp of a sewing machine. It didn't really turn out that strong, but you can still see it if you look hard. And here's the, on my baking pan, it says Bake King, that I do my papers on, one of the sheets that I do my papers on. It makes a mark. Here's some journaling materials, and some more. And that's the end of that signature. Then the next one, as I said, I had dyed this lace. It was white, I dyed it blue. And here's another of those Love is Chic envelopes with some of these, you know, samples. These are those little spools on a doily. Here is, this is a tag that I made, and I just thought this was wonderful, bleached hair and cloth sample, and it's just a little bit of the cloth there. It's mostly the label, and I have these stickers, and they looked like buttons to me, so I stuck them on here in a little tag. And here's some more journaling stuff, Ephemera's Vintage Garden stuff. And then I used I was doing upholstery and reupholstery, and here is one of those Butterick envelopes. These are new buttons, and journaling. Love is chic, it's so beautiful. Here's some more journaling stuff. And here's the other side of that envelope. It's another envelope that was sewn together. And here's, this one's 54 cents for these clips. I don't know how old this is. I think it was my mother's from Walmart or something. Kmart, Walmart. And here's some boutique samples. And they had some really beautiful fabrics. And I made a dress. I don't remember. I think it was this one. And here's some twine here. Now from this signature, a page is missing. And it was just a total disaster. I'm sure you've had that experience if you're creative. But I cut out a little piece that I thought would go in the journal, and it's just a couple of flowers, like a kid would draw. I don't know what came over me. Here is another little spool with some really nice yarn on it. Some nice, what do you call these, fibers. And here's a tuck spot. This was given to me by Marie Nowak. Thank you, Marie. And this is from Chic and Shabby with the sewing machine. I love that. And oh, here are some of those samples. This burlap was given to me by Jenny England. Thank you, Jenny. And I had this little piece to see how I saved this, because I knew I was going to use it. I didn't have to cut it or anything. It was just exactly that size. And here are some of the thicker fabrics, what is this? Canvas and burlap and hemp. I love this hemp muslin summer cloth. Beautiful. And this one is called Bold Denim, heavy denim. Here's a little book I made, or a little book jacket, like a passport jacket. And the stamp said, "Yes, it's vintage." I love that. And here's some little spools in here that the recipient can decorate or do whatever she likes with. Here's another sample fabric with some pink bullion. I got this I got a whole roll of this, a huge roll for $1 at the store uptown in New York City. It's on 123rd Street. It's wonderful. I get so many things there, and they're all cheap. They're all on sale. Journaling card, and here is another tag I made with the other image that JC sent me. And I thought that this spray, I don't even remember what it was, but I thought it was, I think it's gold paint. I thought it would be translucent, but it's not. It's opaque, but I like it anyway. At first I thought I wouldn't, but I like the way it turned out. Some little things there. Another piece of journaling paper. And here's a little decorated clip, piece of lace on it, and some craft paper. And here I made a little book that can be used for journaling, a little kind of a pamphlet, I guess, for journaling here. And this is Marion Smith. And that's a big pocket right back here. And then here's another pocket with some tags, downloads from the internet. And then in this bottom pocket is just a piece of paper from Chic and Shabby that I punched on that. It's not vellum, it's parchment. Here's a little dress I made. It's an origami dress, and I learned how to do this from Michelle Mooney on Paper Addiction. She has a film, a video, and I got these pearl flowers. I ordered them, and they came on that day. I had no plans for them, but I said, oh, there they go. They belong right there. And here's a label, and it says, Made with Love by Grandma, with a banner. Now, I figured Mom couldn't make a dress like this because, of course, she doesn't have any time, but Grandma does. So Grandma made that dress. Here's some sewing and a doily, stamping. And here's another tag from, and paper. I love this paper. This is Love is Chic, Shabby and Chic, both from Ephemera's Vintage Garden. A little ticket, and here's the last signature. I think it's the last, yes. Here's an envelope. This is Ephemera's Vintage Garden. Oh, there's a little button in there. I guess I was trying to compare the two buttons, and one wound up in there. And some journaling cards, all covered with either cardstock or covered with paper. Here's another thing, a piece of bullion. Did I need to save this? Can you all see that? Yeah. Did I need to save that? No. But here you go. It's exactly the right size. Cut to size. Just beautiful. So don't throw those things out. This was sent to me by Jenny England, and as soon as I saw it, I knew it was going to fly out of my possession because I was going to use it in my journal, my sewing journal. Here's another envelope, pockets with a punch here. Some journaling cards, and I made this little thing, and I decoupaged some, these are decorative only, decoupaged some textbook, my Italian textbook, as a matter of fact. I'm having such a lot of fun decoupaging all my textbooks from grad school, because a lot of them were tedious. Journaling cards. This was given to me by Marie. I love this. I love this ribbon. It is so gorgeous. And here's some more safety pins. And mixed in here is a little envelope with 4 snaps. Now, part of my inheritance was a big jar full of snaps. So I went through them, and the first 4 that fit together, I put them in here. And it seems like the rest of them, I don't know, they don't fit or something. But my Nonna used to call them snapaza, because she was Italian, she didn't speak English. So here they're snapaza for you, whoever you are. Hope you enjoy them. Some stamping. Oh, I love this tag. This is also, I sprayed it, of course. And here was just this random charm that I had, and I didn't know when I would use it or how I would use it, but there you go. Fits perfectly there. And there's a dress on a hanger, which I thought was also appropriate. And in the pocket, sewing. And here's a belly band, and inside here is some pattern tissue paper and a journaling card and 2 tags that probably came from, they came from the internet, and fibers and all that. And this poor flower, I think I colored it about 4 or 5 different times, and I was ready. It's really, sad looking after I did all these things to it, and I was going to throw it away, but then I thought, well, it also needs its 15 seconds of fame, so here it is, bedraggled flower. And some stamping, and oh, I love this. This is like a sampler. My friend Christine helped me with some of the sewing because I have this new sewing machine, and it's like a monster. I mean, it's not a monster, but it feels to me like I'm dealing with a monster because I don't, it's powerful and I don't really quite get it, but she helped me with this, and these are some of the things that my sewing machine does, and maybe someday I'll figure them out. In the meantime, I can sew a straight line. So here are 2 more tags, and in here I just thought it was too good not to do vellum bag with some of the finer fabrics in that package. I mean, I still have about 100 more. You know, these are wonderful. And just think, if I hadn't saved it, I wouldn't have this. Look at this cotton wall. And cotton velveteen. Oh, this is gorgeous. I love this. Etc. Okay, so that's the end. Here's my card, in case you want to write to me. And I just kind of really love the results here of this album, and looking forward to having a swap. Thank you for watching.